Hello, I'm going to let you share with as many people as possible so that we can get started. Thank you very much. I'm going to invite various of you so that we can have a very good chat today on Thursday, May 20, 2021. And our topic today is on the Running-Mate Petition. On the Running-Mate Petition. That is what we are talking about today. On the Running-Mate Petition. And then I'm also going to talk about the Mubita Nawa issue, which is very close to my heart. And the reason why I think that issue is very significant. But today it's going to be on the Running-Mate Petition. You see, there is a certain company in Zambia that has sued in the constitutional court. All right. And so it has sued. I'm going to let you share and please, if you are able to send us stars. Secondly, share with as many people as possible. Invite people to like TV Bakwetu, to like our page and TV Bakwetu. So there is this thing going on where we have a separate TV Bakwetu page, and then we have this thing going on my own personal page. Apparently, we want to separate the two. Anyway, we'll see how that goes, okay? So I'm Elias Munsha, and for those that are very familiar with how we greet each other, we say hello to Chiwempala, to Milenge, to Zambia, and to the rest of the world. We acknowledge what time it is, where you are catching us from. Here it's about 1:35 p.m. during lunch. It's basically lunch time. So thank you very much for joining us. If you are able to like our page, please do. If you are able to like the other page, which is the Bakwetu page, you're going to see our emblem. It's very clear that this is our page. Please like it. Let us grow it as well. And let us see the great and exciting things that that Bakwetu page has for us. All right? Now, we have a problem, okay? And so Lusaka, we have a problem. Is it Lusaka or Zambia? You know, when they went to the moon and they had an issue, they called it Houston, we have a problem, or something like that. So Lusaka, we have a problem. And this problem is about the running mate, okay? The running mate issue. So apparently it's part of Article 100 and 101 of the Constitution of Zambia, which is the current constitution. So basically, in Constitution 2016, this is what happened, right? In Constitution 2016, this is what happened. This is what happened with 2016 Constitution. We created a running mate, okay? So when we created a running mate, what the intention was that running mate vice president is not going to be subject to a presidential appointment. So they are actually elected by the people, right? That's what it means. When we say running mate, what we are actually saying is that when we vote in August, we are voting for a president. We are also voting for a vice president. So we are voting for two individuals at the same time, such that the election is not just a presidential election. It is actually also a vice presidential election, in the sense that the president and the vice president are being elected at the same time. All right. So ideally, even if we say that it's one election, it's actually two elections. So the implication is that you elect a ticket. It means that then that you've elected both the president and the vice president. And this vice president is ready to take over as president immediately after the president either resigns, nangwasa chinjamano, you know, because kwa libati you are ruling, you are governing a nation. Ero wasa chinjamano, wasa fiwera mo watakata webere ndefo kufireka. So nga wafireka, what Constitution 2016 says is you are going to have the vice president. who is elected directly by the people, they're going to then take over and become the president. That's reasonable, isn't it? That's what our constitution says. And I think it's a very reasonable thing to do. That's why we first used this constitution in 2016. All right. Now, that is very clear about the vice presidents, right? It's an election for a president, but it's also an election for a vice president. This vice president runs as a running mate and is elected as well directly by the people, and then they can take over once the president dies. You know? With the president, so ngafwa, vice president takes over. Bantu kufwa, abantu balafwa, afwa. Limona alwala, limotalwele, you know, instafe yafika afwa. Umutima waleko kutunta, umuntu dead, na fiance afwa, kuya mkushika. So, umuntu ngafwa, nishete president, bu president bupuira paria peno lefu afye, na bu president wapwa. Anyway. So because the president our constitution is saying that president vice president takes over. So this vice president should be directly elected and should not have been appointed by that president who was leaving. All right. So that is settled. Now, here is the complication. The complication is how do you get this running mate? Constitution, I am articles here, Article 101 says that everything that is required now, before you are elected, right, when you are aspiring, when you go to file in your nomination, as a presidential candidate, there are several things you must satisfy by the Constitution. For example, you must be a Zambian, okay? Tick, Zambian. You must declare your assets, tick. Assets. You must have as your education a minimum of grade 12 certificate or its equivalent. I think many of us satisfy that, right? Grade 12. And so the Constitutional Court has in fact given further guidance to say that now what a PhD in microbiology at grade 12 you can't be. Anyway, whatever it is, there's been clarity so far on that point. Okay. And then another requirement, you must be nominated by 100 people out of every province of Zambia. 100, imagine. So, because Zambia has 10 provinces, it means 1,000 people, 100 per province. So, ngoli kuruwapula ufuriwa kwata kwa 100, kukasama 100, kuchinsali 100, na kuchipata 100, na kuchoma 100, Kabwe 100, Solwezi 100, Mongu 100, na Kulusaka Queen 100, so that you have 1,000. That is for the presidential person. And then it also says that you've got to pay a prescribed nomination fee, which at the moment is 95,000 kwacha for men. Bantu nabapsanya. Nabapsanya ati aba banamayo kulipira kweshinono imwe bashitata mfurimu alipire shingi. I think I support it. Why should Banamayo na Vashtata pay the same thing? When Banamayo have been sacrificing from the foundation of our country. Banamayo, beka, eva ikatidire chalo. Imwe Vashtata tamwa ikatidire chalo. Bunda wakunwa, lutuku, kachasu, katata, katuvi, everything else. It's drunk by men. Very irresponsible. Anyway. So number constitution, so number the Electoral Commission of Zambia, it will separate 75,000 for females and 95,000 for men. Okay? Number apope napo inkondo na ibuka. In 2016, I think this went on very well. Hichilema reviewed his running mate at the last minute. At the last minute, there was such a review running mate at GBM. In fact, quali a very big issue about the grade 12 requirement, if you can remember very well. That was in 2016. In as far as President Lungu was concerned, it was easier because there was already a vice president, and so that vice president carried on, and so we knew. So there was no suspense as far as the Patriotic Front candidate's ticket is concerned. Okay, fast forward to 2021. it's funny. You know what I mean? This is an extremely serious matter, and I really should not be laughing. Nomba ndeseka munjerereko. Mweba shipaba kubati fintu na mfiasekesha tamseka. I really commend you. Mukansa ambirisheko. In otherwise, vintu ngafia dabuisha. I get tempted. Ukuseka. Now, Chibi, because some of you listeners are very serious people, and you want me when I'm talking about serious things to act seriously. What in Dimukot? Number Dimondalaba. So sorry. Okay. In 2021, the same practice is almost done. Everybody, and in fact, the most famous Dabwisha was done by the Lulu ticket. The reason why I'm calling it the Lulu ticket, Temusalu Layo. I've taken Lu from Lungu and Lu from Luo, combined them together, and then they form a very beautiful name, Lulu. So the Lulu ticket was the first one. That's why we were all having a very good time. You know, there will be a revelation of a running mate, and then right at the last minute, the Lulu ticket to Dabwisha. Okay? And that's why I'm calling it Lulu Dabwisha. We were all shocked to Kumusangati. Here is the running mate. Now, the constitution is clear. The requirements for the running mate should be the same as the requirement for the presidential candidate. That's not in dispute. In other words, they should be Zambian. They should have money, they should declare assets, they should swear an affidavit, and they should pay fees. And so what are these? Article 100. I'm going to read it, okay? Article 100, this is what it says. A person is disqualified from being nominated if he's a public officer, has dual citizenship, is holding or acting in a constitutional office, is a judge, was removed from public office on gross misconduct, has a mental or physical disability, is an undischarged bankrupt, is serving a sentence of imprisonment of sentence of improvement. And then Article 100 and Section 1, this is what it says. A person qualifies if he's a Zambian by birth or descent, has been ordinarily resident in Zambia, ordinary resident in Zambia. This will also be an issue. So, am I ordinarily resident in Zambia? I'm not ordinary resident. No, I'm ordinarily resident in Zambia. Anyway, is at least 35 years old, is a registered voter, has obtained grade 12, is fluent in the official language, has paid taxes, declares assets, and is supported by at least 100 registered voters from each district, okay, from each province, and pays the prescribed fee for the date of the delivery. So these are the qualifications. Okay. So most of the presidential candidates have done it. Most of the presidential candidates have actually satisfied all these requirements. All of their running mates have also satisfied most of these requirements. Okay. So what are these requirements? Let's look at them again. So these requirements are, most of them is a citizen by birth or descent. They've been ordinarily resident in Zambia. Is at least 35 years old. They are registered voters. They are grade 12. They are fluent in the official language. They've paid taxes or whatever it is. They've declared their assets. And so most of the presidential candidates, they have satisfied this, including the running mates. The only issue that the Legal Resources Foundation, LRF, Legal Resources Foundation, that is the foundation that has gone to court. Again, it is not John Sangwa. John Sangwa is the lawyer for the Legal Resources Foundation. So we just need to make that distinction. So it's not John Sangwa who has gone to petition. This petition is being brought by an organization known as Legal Resources Foundation. So it's Legal Resources Foundation versus all these presidential running mates. Okay, so they've satisfied this. What they are arguing in the Legal Resources Foundation case, which is also known as the running mate case, is the fact that these running mates have not paid a prescribed fee and these running mates are not supported by at least 100 registered voters from each province. Okay? That is where the issue is. So they've satisfied A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, H. Okay? But they've not satisfied, according to this argument, they've not satisfied I and J. Do you agree? Okay? Here is the tricky part. Now, the Legal Resources Foundation has gone to court, to the Constitutional Court, seeking that all these be invalidated, all these running mates be invalidated, beginning from Professor Nkanduluo to Honorable Mutarena Lumango to Ruben Sambo. I think Ruben Sambo was, Reverend Ruben Sambo was being was having their nominations today. I don't think they've been added to the petition, but it's likely to apply to them as well. So all these running mates, they are arguing, Legal Resources Foundation is arguing that they be invalidated on account that the running mates have not satisfied I and J of Article 100 of the Constitution of Zambia. All right? So they are seeking a declaration to quash these nominations. That is what they are seeking in their petition. What are they saying? They are seeking two things. So a relief is what you go to court for. Okay, so the reason why people, if you are bantu bera ku court, tegoya fye mukulanda ati yo koti ingofwe mwamona te takwaba relief yako fye ati yo ndefo afye koti waka yengofwa. No, there is nothing like that. So ama reliefs balefo ayakwe but a declaration that to the extent that the respondents have not complied with the provisions of Article 100 of the Constitution, their respective nominations for election to the office of Vice President are now void. Secondly, an order of certiorari. Now, that's Latin. Certiorari. Certiorari simply means you quash the decision. So now the Legal Resources Foundation is looking for a declaration from the Constitutional Court to quash, not a declaration, to quash the nominations of these people immediately. Okay, and what is their issue? They've not paid the fee, the prescribed fee. Secondly, they've not been supported by 100 registered voters from every province. That is where the issue is. So what do you think? Some of you think that the law is just supposed to be left to constitutional lawyers, right? And this is just about constitutional lawyers. But look, you need to be very practical as far as the Constitution is concerned. You are thinking that it has to be done by constitutional lawyers. Here is the thing. What do you think? Okay? Do you think the Legal Resources Foundation is going to be successful or not? I'm not necessarily going to tell you where I'm leaning, right? Do you think they're going to be successful on these 2 points? Payment of fees and raising 100 supporters in every province. I think there is an argument to be made here that these vice presidential candidates indeed should have been supported as well by 1,000 people, 100 each from every province. I see why that would be necessary. Okay? Because when you are choosing a running mate, indeed, uyu kateka nga mwamusala elo afwa instead ya kupuisha temu afwa bwangu mwebo afwa afwa ukufuwa omuntu wafwa umutima waleko okutunta asanguke ekitumbi afwa. So what should happen? The life must go on. Takwa bati umuntu wafwa ni shinomba ne chalo chapwa. No. Life must go on. Government must continue. Nga wafwa chabipa kuulira balosha abantu nechimbo cha maliro bayimba. Elo baya kushika chapwa. Mama. It ends there. So which means for this running mate, you've actually are electing a president who takes over. So why not ukwebati na owine akwate 100 supporters from every province? Okay, that's one thing. The other thing is on the subscription fee. I don't think it should really be a deal, because the reason is paying $0 or 0 kwacha is still a payment. The Electoral Commission of Zambia is not under obligation to receive any money. We are going to charge $0 to running mates. That's not an issue. So I don't think that is going to be an issue, in my opinion. In my personal opinion, lawyer pantu lawyer all the time. Common sense if the law says that you must pay a fee, collect fee, and that $0, still a payment. Okay? Yeah, so that's why even Anama fees, they are quite arbitrary. Like, how did the ECZ decide on 95,000 for men and 75,000 for women, and 500 for men and 300 for women? They just decided. So they can still decide to Kobatama running mates, they will pay $0. So I don't see that to be an issue. But on the supporters, maybe that could be an issue. But even if it were an issue, I do not see the Constitutional Court actually invalidating the whole thing. What do you think? You must pay. The Legal Resources Foundation, which is being represented by one of Zambia's the brightest constitutional thinkers in Zambia, Johnson. That is their lawyer. Legal Resources Foundation. And what they are saying is that please pay us as vice president without paying. If you pay, it will show. As vice president without paying any money to the Electoral Commission of Zambia. No, they need to pay. And I think maybe there is a point there. But anyway, that's what the Legal Resources Foundation is arguing. So, what do you think will happen? What do you think will happen? What do you think will happen? Let's see. Okay, so I don't think it's tough. The Constitutional Court is in a very big dilemma, right? A very, very big dilemma. The dilemma is, how do we handle this? Do we invalidate? And if we invalidate, does the Electoral Commission have enough time to redo this whole thing? It's pretty huge, right? To process 19 candidates. Will there be a way where this can be cured administratively? But if you are looking for a constitutional remedy, I don't see where the court is going to allow an administrative remedy. You know what I mean? If it's a constitutional remedy, then the remedy you've got to use is what the Constitution provides, which is quashing the nominations. Or is there going to be a compromise between the people that are suing and the Electoral Commission of Zambia to say, okay, let's cure this, let's get 100 supporters from every province? Or do you think that when people were signing on for Mr. Hakainde Hichilema of Dr. Edgar Chagwa, they were implicitly also signing for the running mate that is going to be brought at a later stage? Is there such an argument that can be made in the Constitutional Court? Those are all interesting matters, right? Because I don't see the fee is going to be an issue, but I foresee that the 100 supporters might be an issue per province. Maybe we could argue to say, no, if you said yes to Edgar Lungu, then you actually were saying yes to any person who was in the mind of Edgar Chagwa Lungu as a candidate. And so that person, on nomination, they became Professor Nkanduluo, and because you said yes to Edgar Lungu, then you as 100 people, you also said yes to Professor Nkanduluo. Is it possible then, for example, to go back to the 100 in every province and ask them to endorse, to say, are you going to endorse this particular running mate? It's very interesting, right? So all these are questions. But which means the Legal Resources Foundation amano yengi sana yengi So nombagansha manonga ya fula dimo kutuwa ifintu dimo fila bafe bueno, but mostly fila lubana. Okay, so what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Okay, let's see. Political affiliation aside, Mr. Musha, you are a good man. I'm a good man. In a win, eh? Good. Are you sure? Okay. Watching from Monze, vote for Haka in the Hichilema. So of course, you know whom we have. Let me share again our StreamYard here so that we can open up to comments. I can see some of the comments. Lulu, good one. Mashna yabo, you know, mashna yabo, Lulu. Ticket Lulu, mashna yabo. And then what else? Okay, so we are going to look at that. Andrew Butcher, please, what do you think? I think I can't get Andrew. I'll remove Andrew. Jerome, are you there? All right, Jerome is there. Malcolm, what are you saying, Malcolm Jala? That's my reading, but the remedy should just be to ask the candidates to make good. Here is the challenge, Malcolm. Unless very quickly there is, you know, this is where the church needs to intervene. You know what I mean? Because this is a big constitutional crisis. So the church and some senior citizens, they need to go and sit down with the Legal Resources Foundation, sit down with the candidates and say, and ECZ, and say, how do we resolve this problem, and come up with perhaps an administrative way to deal with this problem. Otherwise, if it goes to the Constitutional Court has got to come up with a constitutional remedy. Of course, there is something in the Act that says that the Constitutional Court is at liberty to try and, you know, order a remedy that it sees fit. Does that apply in this situation? I don't know. Because if they say that they're going to cure it administratively, what stops then another petition in future to be cured administratively? You know, that is where the challenge is. So I think we have run into a serious problem. We have a citizen or a company that overthinks So now how do you deal with the chimfulunganya? How do we resolve this problem? And then resolve it outside court. I think that would be the best way. Resolve it administratively. No, there could be one or two tickets. So they could be banking on this disqualification so that they can correct their own issues. Do you think that is possible? I don't know, right? There is too much, you know, such that you can't tell whether someone, what someone really means at the moment. Okay, you can't really tell what someone really means at the moment. Okay, so if it's an administrative or political decision, then what we need to encourage, what we need to encourage the government to do at the moment, or every stakeholder to do, is to try and ask the Legal Resources Foundation, go sit down with them, sit down with the presidential vice presidents, and try to come up with an administrative remedy. I think that would work. Yeah. That's an academic exercise, just go to sleep. Okay, so somebody thinks that it's an academic exercise, which is likely to be the case, you know. It's possible that it's just an academic exercise, particularly if the Constitutional Court just says, we're not interested in answering this question at such a late time, right? Maybe it will just be an academic exercise. That's probably the case. Does that mean even 2016 Inongewina did not satisfy? No, I don't think. No. I don't think this is going to be an issue of disqualifying. You know, gosh, I really don't think that it's up to that point of where candidates are going to be disqualified. I really don't think so. where you actually disqualify candidates. I actually don't think it's going to reach that point of disqualifying any candidate. What do you think? Okay. I don't think it will be there. All right. Any other contributions or questions? Technicalities, but the petition also was this year date totally wrong with points, 0.15 and 0.15. Okay. You agree with Sangwa. Okay. You agree with the Legal Resources Foundation? You think that it will go somewhere? Interesting. Do running mates appear on the ballot paper? Does anyone know if running mates appear on the ballot paper? They should, because it's a ticket. Yes, they do. So it's Edgar Lungu and Professor Nkanduluo in this case. So it's Lulu, ticket Lulu, and then ticket Hana, Hakainde and Nalumango. We are calling it Hana to make it shorter, and also to make it fit with a good, nice summary. Lulu and Nana, Hana and Nana, Lulu and Hana. Okay, I think that is the case. But I foresee also a situation where the Constitutional Court might just say we are going to impute those 100 people that they actually did it for the other candidates, even if those other candidates were actually not known by the time that the 100 were agreeing, right? It's wavyazana. Achipo, the way you highlight ukufuwa kwetu. Nomba kanshkulanda shana, eh? How does a president lose? Chimajan, it's either you resign, you resign, or you get removed by parliament. At Wafwa. The stars, no, these are not the stars that we are talking about on this broadcast. It's not this kind of stars. No, it's money. Because TV it's money. Facebook stars, not the ones that you just type. Yeah, you cannot have elections without a running mate. No, you can't. Just presidents appear on the ballot paper. No. The vice presidents as well, because even winning, it's a ticket that wins, not just an individual. The only thing this will cause is more questions. Yeah, so administrative solution is the way. Wiseman.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Wiseman?
How's Canada? Yes, sir. Are you getting me? Are you getting me?
All right. So even if they don't appear on the ballot, it's still a valid. It's still a ticket. You know, the vice president. I don't know, but yeah.
Are you getting me there?
Yeah, I think Wiseman, there is something preventing you from coming up here. Let me see whether we can get you again. Wiseman, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here. Are you getting me there?
All right. Yes, please. What do you think? Do you think this petition is going anywhere?
Okay, thank you. I think for me, this petition is not going anywhere. I think for me, this petition, I think lacks something. It's like for me, for the layman's point of view, it's like in your case as Elias Musha, as a lawyer, you have got qualifications for you to be a lawyer, and you are making money for your children to eat. That doesn't mean that anyone who's going to eat your money has to be a lawyer and has to have that qualification. If you die today, your family members are going to get all your property without qualifications, which you are getting from your qualifications. So it's not everyone who has to have those qualifications for them to enjoy what you got from your qualifications. So for me, we're just making these things complicated. If the president qualified to stand and has got all what it takes for him, he can choose whoever he can go and enjoy that money with and eat that money with.
But
There's
Wiseman.
Yes.
The issue is what
Yes.
does the Constitution actually say? The Constitution is very clear that the Vice President and President and the running mate, they have similar, they must satisfy similar items.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Right? So the only question here is on the 100, right? If those people affirmed for the 100 people per province, they said Hichilema or Lungu, can that also be imputed as having been supporting a candidate they did not know? You know what I mean? I think those are the questions that the courts might be dealing with.
Yeah,
because they must find a solution.
I have your point now. I've got your point now. I think for me that one it can only fight the PF, the Pante one, because for them we didn't know who was there. But for the UPND, they can argue to say we have been having this vice president for too long, and that was the person I'm with. So it's only for those people the Pante who can be choked with such kind of petition. But for the UPND, I think for them it's clear. And as you know, Barry is wise. I think he saw it coming. That's why we saw Madam Nanumango previous.
Now, what about ECZ? Because ECZ is supposed to collect an actual document, right?
Yeah.
ECZ is actually supposed to collect an actual document from the 100 supporters. So
yes,
ECZ.
Yes.
So does it mean that when the 100 supporters supported HH, it means then that ECZ also received 100 supporters for Nalumango? Okay.
Yeah, 100 supporters. We went there to give that number to HH, and we give that number to the vice president, not the running mate, but the vice president, who now is the running mate. So it's only for this Lulu one. The Lulu one is where the challenge is, because those people never knew who was their vice president.
No. Whatever applies to Lulu is going to apply to the Hana ticket and every other thing. So here, please do not think of it in terms of Lulu and Hana. This is you're going to apply the same rules. If the court dismisses this, they'll dismiss it across the board. If they entertain it, they're going to entertain it for everyone. Is that okay, Wiseman? What do you think?
No, for Hana has got chances of fighting it back, because for Hana will say, I tell my group that this is my vice president and I'm the president, and my group supported it. No one argued that Madam Nalumango should never be a vice president. We accepted, all of us. So for us, we are comfortable. But for Lulu, we were debating. It should be GBM, it should be Kambwidi, or what? Surprisingly, someone come in the ninja and show us this is our argument.
All right, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Wiseman is always on point. But so what Wiseman is saying is that Lulu is hopeless. The Lulu ticket is completely hopeless. For the Hana ticket, it's better. And so I think Wiseman is trying to disqualify the Lulu ticket by all means. Do you agree? Mamba, what do you think? Mamba Jr., do we have you? Jerome, what do you think?
Bakwetu, this is the most interesting petition.
Right?
Yeah, in that no one predicted this. And I was wondering if the legal resource had interest in this. I'm wondering why they didn't go and sit with ECZ before the nomination started, so they can discuss it and then see. They waited until the people have finished filing. That's when they bring up the issue. It's interesting. I want to see how it will end, because I'm also foreseeing, because Sangwas also has got a pending petition, so there'll be petition and a petition. Interesting.
Yeah, so you think that they may have a point, but it's too late, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
Does it matter to you
if they
that
knew
the
this before?
No. Okay. Does it matter to you that the running mate should be Zambian?
No. As long as they're qualified and they're able to do the job.
Zambian. No.
They're
The
capable.
question is Zambian citizen. Would you want the running mate to be a Zambian citizen?
No, I said no. As long as they're capable to do the work. For me, I don't care. But as long as they're capable to.
You don't mind for the running mates to be Zambian?
I don't mind. As long as they're able to manage our affairs very well. What does it mean, Musha? Just 1 point. 1 point.
Gerald, the role of the vice president is to be president. So are you saying that you don't care if the president is Zambian or not?
For me, yes, Musha. The reason is simple, Musha. For now, we have a Zambian president. We have a Zambian running mate in Ungewina. Have they managed the economy very well? That's a question.
Okay. Your arguments are really like out of the ordinary. We need a lot more time to engage with you.
Sure.
Okay, I think that's pretty natina ine umwenso waingira panondi iwakobati iumwe nangu basi you don't okay tukalanda kolimbi Andrew, what do you think?
How are you? I think
very well.
How are you? Yeah, I'm saying I think I don't know what they're going to come up with, but that procedure should have been followed, I think, for both the running mate and the president. But they might take it that since the president has met those conditions, maybe the same might apply to
If you were a constitutional court judge, what would you say, Andrew?
I would simply just apply so that we don't waste too much time on this issue because it's already done with. Maybe on future judgments, that's where we can say, no, let's make sure this is followed. But for now, let's just apply what was applied. If the president met the condition.
So you would rather go for a very pragmatic. So you'd rather go for a very pragmatic solution, right?
Yes, than waste time on this issue. We go back, we start getting supporters, doing what, waste a lot of time for that. So it's better to say future judgments, future petitions, let's have this condition met.
Okay. Wesley, what do you think? Are you there?
Yes, I also agree with Andrew. We are in a very critical moment that we need to have a lot of attention paid to all issues. But tempers are high with the citizens.
Right.
So we have to be very careful the way we go about these issues. But this is not the first time that it has happened. I remember in 2016 we were using the same constitution that that used for nomination for the president in 2016 election. So since now it has been realized that there's a breach in, I don't know whether we call it.
So Wesley, So Wesley, if you were a constitutional court judge, what would you do? You would say, let's just continue.
Yeah, I would say let's just continue because it has already happened. Are you with me? Hello?
Hello. Yes, please. I can hear you.
Yeah. I definitely that's what I would do because it has already happened.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Peter. Mr. Simpemba, are you a presidential candidate? Mr. Simpemba, are you there? Okay, Mr. Simpemba is not there. Kanyane N, what do you think? What would you do if you were the judge? Okay, we can't hear you. It appears like you were the judge.
Okay, can you hear me now, Mr. Musha?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, we can't hear you. It appears like you were the judge.
Okay, can you
There
hear
is an
me
echo.
now?
There is
Mr.
an
Musha?
echo. Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah.
We can't hear you. It appears like you were the judge.
Okay, can you
There is
hear
an
me
echo.
now?
There is
Mr.
an
Musha?
echo. All right. All right. Yeah. Yes, are you there? Yes, are you there? Okay, so we had a technical thing there. Jay Kolala, are you there? Would you like to make any contribution? What would you do if you were the judge?
Yeah, I just want to say something here. What it means is that the whole thing is very confusing, and I think it will bring about some problems. It will bring some problems. I think the best thing to do is to just go ahead and continue with the whole process, because I should have done it before that, because it equates back again, like we are testing the Constitution Court over the matter, over what Sangwa has done in terms of bringing a petition. We are trying to see the strength of the Constitutional Court. One,
there is feedback. You need to reduce the volume on your device that you are using.
Oh yeah, okay. So Sangwa has petitioned. Sangwa as is trying to petition.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Now, this other thing comes in about the running mate. Now it's up to how the way the Constitutional Court is going to handle both issues. If they throw out one issue, either for Sangwa or one for the one which has just come in now, I think people behind it are just trying to see how the Constitutional Court will handle this, whether it will be in fairness to see how the Zambian Constitution is being applied, if it's being applied fairly and if it's being applied unfairly. So this is a test on them. This is one of my understanding. So, in a way, okay, come on. Yes, that's my understanding.
Thank you. This is very interesting from Mr. J. Kolala. The issue is, what he's saying is, we have two petitions here. There is likely to be a Sangwa petition, and then there is this Legal Resources Foundation petition, which is also represented by lawyer Sangwa. What he's saying is that it's going to test the Constitutional Court. If they dismiss one, they have to dismiss the other. If they uphold one and dismiss the other, the question will be why. This is a very critical time. My advice would be, I think the Legal Resources Foundation, together with all the running mates and DCZ, should go and seek a solution outside the Constitutional Court and cure this administrative issue. All right? Because it's a trap. I think it was an oversight on everybody concerned. And so it's better to have it cured that way. I don't think having it quashed, disqualified or anything is the better solution. We do not have time here. And the kubafe practical. That's the thing, right? Kubafe practical. There is no other way, in my opinion. There is no other way. So thank you, Mr. Kolala, much appreciated about your contribution. But would you agree with me that what we need is an INSACA, a group, let people sit together and resolve this problem outside court?
We need a peaceful INSACA.
Yeah,
a very peaceful INSACA. That is the best way to go about it.
Right. Okay, what would you do if, for example, the Lulu ticket now, some of people are objecting that I shouldn't call it Lulu. But anyway, if, for example, the Lulu ticket wants to change the running mate and they see this as an opportunity?
Well,
Think about it. I'll come back to you. Think about that. I'll come back to you. Okay. Mr. Simpemba, are you there? Presidential candidate. President Simpemba is not there. Safreds, Amutishan, are you there? Fabian Tembo.
Yes. Our good lawyer in Canada. Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Hello. You can hear me. Yeah. On this one, the way I'm seeing it is that this is a test that we have to our firm, the Concord, to decide. Because if we be always placing our opinion on the constitutional matter, we will be reaping it and we will be defining it bit by bit. So let the constitution, I think, at this particular point, try to decide, because we have already have issues of constitutional lacunas in our constitution, where we will see that this time the president will say, I have the powers to make all those declarations, because people, they don't read the constitution. Later on, the Concord come out and decide that to say those people who are in office were holding it illegally.
Okay.
So if we can give, yes.
Right. So here is the issue, because we don't have a lot of time. Here is the issue. Yes. What would you do if you were the Concord? Would you disqualify this thing and have a rerun? Is that what would you do?
Yes, that's what I can do, so that we can show that the rule of law has been applied. Look here, Mr. Monsha. You will see that these people, these political parties, have got lawyers who can advise them, who look at the both constitution, the party constitution and the Zambian constitution. So they are in the better position to make some proper advice, to their candidates. To say, oh guys, let's have our interpart more like overview of the constitution of the party, and also is it matching in the supreme law of the land, which is the Zambian constitution. So if they are doing it, we don't know if they are doing it deliberately. Okay, how will you enforce that they are doing this thing genuinely, or they trap?
So you'd rather we have a rerun of all the nominations?
It's better, so that we do the right thing, which will send a signal to everyone that the right procedure should be properly followed.
Okay, thank you, Fabian. Fabian says you have to redo it. You know, that's what he's saying. He says we have to redo it. Rose Limbrick, could you go here?
I know.
What would you do?
You know what, if I was a judge, I'll just go with the one they have, because you know what, it's just going to bring a lot of confusions, because it's like they don't have much time to be doing the same thing again. And that's the only way I can say, because that shows there's so much games which is going on. You know that maybe they're thinking that if we do this, something is going to happen, because when you have fear, that's usually happen.
Okay.
Because
do you agree with those that are thinking that the Lulu ticket might want a way to remove one Lulu out of the equation, and so they are using this? Do you agree?
No, they have to just go with it, because when you're picking a running mate, you know, maybe they didn't talk to her, or maybe there was something wrong, or maybe some people were not happy. They have to just go with it, because like you look at HH has picked the running mate is fine. If they have the problem, that's their problem. If it was me, I would just go, because they're supposed to do the survey before they do things. What do you think?
Yeah. So in your opinion, you think let's just be practical about it. Let's forget it for now. Let's just cure any problem and move on.
That's the all we can do, because I don't know the other running mate they're gonna pick, because they're gonna be another problem.
Oh yeah, this is trouble. But
because,
this does not just affect it affects Nalumango, it affects Ruben Sambo, it affects all these running mates.
The thing is that, you know what, they're supposed to sit like the way you said in Saka and then correct their messes,
Yeah.
because this is just like a mess, you know. And you know, a lot of people are watching. It's not just the Zambian are watching. A lot of people are watching. Even people sometimes they ask what is going on in Zambia. We look like we're so stupid, you know, because they think that the Tamuabama lawyers, people are not even I don't know, because all this looks upon the president, because the president, I don't know whatever is going on. I don't want to say much because there's so much things which is going on in Zambia, and it's like you want to order on something, you have told the people this is what we're gonna do, because there's so many things which is happening, but people they don't know. You can find out the Zambia bashitishe chalo abantu nishvalelo lisho.
Ati chalo twabuka ifwe ati twabuka kanshi chalo na bashitishia.
Exactly, because wali
thank you,
okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. At one day tukarara ero chira twabuka okusange chalo chiri kuisa okusange chalo bashitisha mwebo. Chalo na bashitisha, because people don't pay attention to honestly na in a way it wasn't an issue. Because now, whenever they are Zambian, they've done all that. What is I and J? If the president satisfies I and J, national Running-Mate not satisfied. No, but the Legal Resources Foundation is saying no. They're saying no. Now, all we in the vice president and go satisfy. All these have been constitution. Things that are supposed to be administrative processes. Part of the qualifications for presidency. Number the constitution yashani yakoba since 1964 tulemba fintu yakoba we mix administrative things if you say we mix them. Na Buteni was going to in fact make things worse. So kanshi mukanje benke said emba constitution, the Munsha Constitutional Review Commission nke said emba limbingana emba constitution fikaba straightforward. Pantu mwaesha kwena mwaesha okulemba baloya ba Mzambia mutulembera vyama constitution vimbi kanshi nene loya wako basungu ndefu ayo kuisa nkeselemba pantu tetifwe tulepo inoishita tufiro kula bomba. This is my lunch hour inside yako bomba ndelondoro refi ntivya kwa everybody is confused. I think naba Judge Isa Ochulu nabo benene shiwachi wapere petition umutwe wachikalipo umutwe okukalipa baesa Ochulu bebere chala abashani baesa Ochulu na chishupa nokulala tabalale na bashindano. They are not even going to sleep pantu tulota tuamoneke due to all these complications if your constitution. So do you agree kwabati nkeselemba constitution nkeselemba ini pantu takwaba substantive qualifications quite alright. If you have administrative procedures, you just take them to administrative procedures. Not if you have administrative procedures like 100 supporters from 10 provinces. What's that? Anyway, the constitution is what it is. It says what it does, and so we are hoping that into Katwish. Is there a solution here? Katwish. Government of Katwishi, Udeko of Katwishi, Constitution of Katwishi, Running-Mate of Katwishi, and Luo Katwishi, Nalumango Katwishi, Hagainde Katwishi, Lungu Katwishi, Fionseni Katwishi, Fionse Zambia Katwishi. In fact, I think the combination had to change it from the Republic of Zambia to the Republic of Katwishi, because we can't live like this. But Nimbonako some solutions. Let them abandon the court action, sit down together and resolve this issue administratively. Now, if they need permission from court to buy a court, at least to allow na to alirufiania to correct cure ka little problem waka. Kube consensus and we move on. I think it's for the child. Mubanga, Amutishan.
Bakwetu. What I'm saying is the law should be followed accordingly, as it were. We don't need to just because if we are to have Insaka, we should have Insaka in court. That's it. Because allowing our minds to rule this country. That's why this country is where it is. Because of the problem the country has, people overrun the law because they become law themselves. So if this is the problem which we have found ourselves into, the court should do justice so that we see the law ruling this country, not men. In Saka, in court. I'll be so disappointed if I thought things will be done outside. It should be done in court. That's it.
At what cost? No. Mubanga, at what cost?
At what
It means
cost?
you have to read the whole thing. The whole exercise takes a month. So you remember to redo the whole thing?
The late President Frederick Chiluba used to say that democracy is expensive. And this is what we have chosen for ourselves. Let's go for it. The law should be applied as it were.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Mubanga was straight to the point. Don't forget, send our television stars. By stars, it means payment. You pay to Facebook, error number, you buy stars, and then you send it to us. Facebook wants to make money. Yo, ni Facebook. Facebook wants to make money. Number, if Facebook can make money, why can't you also make money? That's why TV Bakwetu is here, to make the Facebook. They just behave like the Lulu ticket all the time, taxing. So why not? TV Bakwetu, do something. So Mubanga is very straightforward. We have to redo the whole thing. Anyway, that's why the Constitutional Court number pakanshirimu dilemma. Things that we were expecting to go at Fiala Bomba Fiabuino, Money number dilemma to our Legal Resources Foundation. Boafiazan. Unbelievable. Okay. Tiki Corridon.
Good evening, Makweto.
Good evening. What would you do if you were a judge?
Well, I think for me, this all goes back to what the PF have done to us from the Constitutional Amendment of 2016. Okay, right. Because all this would have been avoided if they did not make that appointment. But all this was done to allow someone to stand a third time, and that is why we have these problems.
No. Let's stick to what we are talking about.
Okay.
Here's the issue. The Running-Mate, the Constitution says that the Running-Mate satisfies everything that the principal runner has got to do. There are two things that all these Running-Mates are not satisfying. They are not paying the fee, and they're not having their own 1,000 supporters. Do you agree that we should invalidate them because of these 2 points?
For me, I disagree, because from the very beginning, we have voter education before voter registration is done. And for me, ECZ should also take that opportunity to do candidate education, so that candidates are fully aware of what is expected of them as well. Because for some candidates, it's the first time.
Yeah, but do you think that the 100 people who were there in the provinces, they were also saying yes to whoever the running mate will be of these candidates? Maybe the Constitutional Court is going to come up with a very creative way to resolve this dispute. I don't think there is a real issue with the 95,000 payment. I think $0 is still, $0 is still a payment. I don't think that will be a big issue. I think the big issue will be on the 100 supporters. Maybe the Constitutional Court will come up with a compromise and say, okay, when these 100 were affirming Lungu, they were also in the mind of Lungu, affirming whatever candidate Lungu had in mind.
Yes, because that's the problem. Because also parties follow their party constitution.
I think I've lost Croydon. Herbert Bilika, do you agree? Hey. Are you there? Yes. Are you there? Yeah, is your mic okay? Harold, are you there? Bilika, are you there? Very well. What did you do?
Okay. To start with, the question that remains unanswered is it constitutional to have them do as presidents are doing in terms of filing in nominations? If it's constitutional, then I support that. Let's do it, yes. Because if we have a vice president that we, the country, has not voted for, then what's the essence of them taking up power once anything happens to the president? So I think it's the right thing to do. Let them do it. If it's constitutional, let it be done. If it's not constitutional, I support that. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, you have a practical problem here that needs a practical solution. Sorry, we've got a very bad line there, Bilika, but thank you. I think we've gotten it. There is a practical solution that needs a practical problem, needing a practical solution. The issue here is the 1,000 supporters. Everything else I think is okay, okay? The Legal Resources Foundation is raising two issues, 95,000 fees or 75,000 fees and the 1,000 supporters. Everything else, all these running mates are satisfying. On these 2 points, okay, I don't think the fee is going to stand because they have a prerogative as ECZ how much to charge. If they charge $0, it's still a fee of $0, of 0 kwacha. Okay, or 2 kwacha or 0 kwacha. So far they've said as long as you produce the receipt of your principal presidential candidate, you are okay. It's a payment. The issue will be on the 1,000. The Constitutional Court can come up with a creative solution here and say that as long as the principal applicant had 1,000 people, they are going to impute those 1,000 on the running mate. Because that is the only issue. That can also be a creative solution. That's the way I think this is. But thanks, Herbert. I think we ran out of space there. Are you there? There's something wrong with the line.
Yes, I'm still.
Yeah, there's something wrong with the line, man.
Are you able?
Yeah. Okay, I need to go. And so thank you very much for joining me. For those that are already in the waiting line, please don't go. I want to chat with you a little bit. Okay, Herbert, Andrew, and Brother K, and Staffreds, and Harold Kawili. Let's chat a little bit after this. But we come back to this issue that we spoke about yesterday. Please don't go, fellow citizens. The issue of the detention of Mr. Mubita Nawa. Again, we understand that he's fallen extremely ill at the hospital, in jail, and he has partial paralysis from the reports that we are receiving. Again, when we are asking that justice be done, it's not because we are just trying to be difficult. We believe that in our country, we must follow the Constitution and the law when we are investigating crimes and when we are arresting people for suspected crimes. What is happening to Mr. Nawa is inexcusable. We cannot agree that this is the country that we want to build. Again, we are appealing to the police command. Be reasonable. Follow the law. Either you charge this gentleman and take him to a court or release him. We cannot live in a country where political opponents are being imprisoned for days or weeks without charge. That is not right. That is not the Zambia we want. We appeal to the president. You are the chief law enforcement officer of our country. For goodness sake, you cannot tolerate this nonsense to go on at your watch. This is inexcusable. This is not the Zambia we want. This is not the Zambia that people sacrificed for, where a person accused of a crime is taken in jail for weeks without charge. You see, it undermines the very words that this government is trying to say, that it is a government of law. No, it's not a government of law. It's a criminal enterprise. How do you justify locking up a person without charge, without taking them to court for weeks? You tell me. We are not saying that he's probably not guilty or anything like that. That is irrelevant. what is relevant here is that if the police suspect a person of having committed a crime, what do? You investigate. That's when you arrest. And when you arrest, you quickly take them to appear before a judge. That is the system of our government. But that has not happened with Mr. Nawa. That has not happened with several other political detainees. That has not happened with so many of our citizens that are rotting in jail. And that is not right. We are not going to ignore this. That is not a free country. In a free country, within 2 days, before a magistrate. Pakowat nomba udia magistrate nangu judge, station apituluke mumilandu, alubulu isho muntu. Musanga, elo judge ngalamtela musanga chachi na adichita, if yo mulela ndata adichita, elo amukaka. It's a judge who filo kukaka abantu. After they review the evidence, tebaka pokola iyo. Eicho, tule mi pushbaka pokola. Uyumu vitana mulekele niko. Garamtila tamuko ito mulandu wa kumutuwalila kujikuli ba judge. Kumuleka kokaidi. Numba, chakula eve fine, kanshuku ikata ula fio muntu muaposa muchifungo muaipaya. That is not right. That is not the Zambia we want. So nomba kanshi ngatuwa mono kutekanya kwa balungu kutekanya kwa patriotic front nangu ba professor lo ba Running-Mate lulu. Tuamono kwa this is a government that is not aimed at trying to help our people or living within the rules. Church in a way are humans and abantu bala tukalifia. Number, we must not use the state to settle personal scores. Number, you use the police, you use jails in order to do very unfair and unjust things to a fellow Zambian. It's pretty sad. Anyway, God bless you and God bless our country. And we speak again for Mr. Mubita Nawa. Thank you, Zambia. And thank you for all those stars. God bless you and God bless our country. We've got to go now. Thank you.